Good morning, family. I have been wanting to do this for a while. Some of the guys in the family have told me that they're experiencing back pain because of work. Either lower back pain, which is your lumbar, or the upper back, which is the thoracic. So I wanted to videotape a routine that I do on a daily basis at home that prevents me from pain. Not only will it prevent you from physical pain and help you to isolate the pain that you're having now, it will also help you to deal with any type of stress that you're having in your life. And doctors tell us that stress is the number one factor right now when it comes to aging and when it comes to disease. So we can use yoga as a tool to be able to bring more peace and joy in our life and to be able to turn on that parasympathetic system to be able to lower our cortisol, which is a key stress hormone, and we don't want that. Stress also causes adrenaline, and that can suppress the immune system. So everything in our life can be improved by yoga, and this is a very, very gentle routine and will benefit every factor of your life. A few things I want to go over before we get started. I don't want you to ever be experiencing pain during this. These are gentle and simple poses that we will be in for between 1 to 2 minutes. Upper body is 1 minute, lower body is 2 minutes. And we stay in the stretches that long because that is how long it takes to truly benefit and to go deep down into that muscle and that fascia to be released. I don't want you to experience any pain, like I mentioned. Pain would be pinching or pulling. We will be experiencing a lot of sensation. When we are stretching into these poses, those are areas that you probably have not touched for quite some time. So you're going to experience sensation. But what will happen as you breathe, and the breath is extremely important in this, is that it will literally just, the sensation will disintegrate. You will feel the relief, and you will see that you're doing that from your own stretching and your own breath. It really is, it feels like a miraculous thing at the end. The music that I'm going to be playing is also really important. This specific gentleman, his name is Stephen Halpern, and there's certain music that has been put together specifically for relaxation. I used to think that I could put on any, soft music or any type of music that made me feel relaxed, but there really is some research behind actually finding legitimate music that has to do with the tones of the earth, and I believe it's like 8 seconds, but you can do your own research on that. But this music that I've chosen for this routine is so important. You could literally just lay down on your mat and listen to this music and breathe with us, and you would be fine. You'd be in a relaxed state. It's that powerful. The props that I'm going to be using, I have a strap, a yoga strap. You can use anything around the house that is like a belt or something that you could put around a robe. You can use a towel. Basically, it's just giving you a little bit more length for the hamstrings and the hands, and you'll see what we're doing. And then I'm going to be using a yoga block and a pillow, but you can use just pillows for all of these things that I'm using them for. Every single body is different. So one side, not only is every body different, but even in your own body, the right and the left are different. So you're not going to expect the same thing from one side to the next. One side I may be putting a block under my knee, and the other I'm not. So you need to make your own decisions for your body. I'm going to offer suggestions throughout the entire routine, and I'll give you different options and let you know where you're supposed to be feeling it and reminding you to breathe. But ultimately, this is your body. If you haven't been to a doctor recently and he approved any type of exercise routine, I would definitely recommend that you consult a doctor to make sure you do anything like this. Again, this is very gentle and simple. You could do this in bed before you go to sleep. There are going to be a few times that I might be checking my watch, and that is because I'm timing this. I'm making sure that these poses are 1 to 2 minutes. If you have time at the end of going through this, I highly recommend that you do it a second time. I'm trying to keep this time efficient. I'm trying to keep this consolidated and move through our entire body. I want to mention too that the reason why we're starting out with our lower body is because most back pain is because our lower body is tight and our back is trying to overcompensate. So it is really beneficial to be able to move through the entire body because the body has a beautiful and wonderful way of compensating. When we don't pay attention to the first pain, it'll move somewhere else. We're just going to start in a laying down position, flat on your back. And if you'd like to use a pillow under your head, that's all about preference. Take some deep breaths here and completely relax. So we're going to begin by bending both knees and just bringing the feet flat on the mat, and then opening both knees to the side. We're going to be feeling this stretch in the outer hip area and in the inner groin, inner thighs. I'm grabbing a block here because my right leg is extremely tight and I need a little bit of support. So once you find the position that you're comfortable in, relax into it and take some deep breaths. Inhaling sending that oxygen wherever you're feeling any type of tightness. And then very slowly, just bringing both of those knees together and moving them back a little back and forth. We're going to start by taking the strap, and hopefully you have a loop at the end, even if you have a belt. Or again, you can even use a towel. But we're going to place it around the ball of the foot. This is extremely important that you don't place it on the arch, but it goes on the ball. So let's slip that on the ball of the right foot and extend that leg all the way to the sky. We're looking between 60 to 70% of getting a stretch here. So if you can bring your hamstring all the way behind your head, I don't want you to. 60 to 70% is the aim. Breathing into that, keeping a micro bend in the knee and just stretching that to the sky. Breathing deeply. Feeling this stretch all through the back of the right leg. It does not matter what it looks like as long as you're breathing. As long as you're feeling in the back of the right leg, you're doing it correctly. Deep breaths.
And the left leg here can be doing anything that you would like it to. It can be bent, it can be open, it can be flat, whatever's comfortable for you. So at the end of your exhale, stretch into that hamstring one more time. Good. And then we're going to grab onto that strap and we're going to open up that right leg all the way to the right side. Now, when I say all the way, that's relative to you and your body. You're looking to get a stretch in the inner groin, inner thigh area. And you can see here that I placed my leg on a block because that's what feels good to me. That's my sweet spot. And I'm breathing into that very, very gently. And you're in the pose, breathing deeply. Always being careful to keep a micro bend in that knee, never locking it out. I like to pull back on the ball of my foot to really flex my foot to protect that knee. It gives me a little bit more sensation in that inner thigh. Breathing deeply. And then extremely slowly bringing that leg back up to the sky, maybe stretching it one moment, and then bringing it all the way over to the left side of your body. So do not be afraid to dramatically bend your knee here. I have a little bit of a bend, and I am feeling a lot of sensation in the outer right hip and glute butt area. So I am going to place a block under that foot so that I can rest it. And I'm just going to try and get comfortable here. This is my whole goal because this area in my right side is so tight right here. So I am just going to stay here and I am going to breathe deeply and I am going to notice how all of that sensation in my right hip is going to dissolve. Very slowly, just bringing that leg all the way to the ceiling. Finding some more space in the back of that hamstring. Stretching it to the sky one more time. Good. And just taking that strap off of the ball of the foot and releasing that leg extremely slowly to the floor. Stretching out and experiencing what we call the yoga rebound. Feeling that new energy flow through that leg. And notice how it is so much longer than the other. You have done that with your breath and with your stretching. So let's get the other side. Place that strap on the ball of the left foot and extend it all the way to the sky, finding a stretch in the back of that hamstring. Being mindful that even though we need to use that upper body a little, that we still keep that micro bend in the knee and we don't transfer any of that tension into our fingers. So breathing deeply, inhale as you lengthen the hamstring. Exhale as you relax into it. And notice as the tension dissolves. Another deep breath here, inhaling. Now bringing that leg all the way out to the side. Feeling free to place it on a pillow or a block or the couch. Feeling that stretch and that sensation in the inner left thigh area, the inner left groin. And you may want to bend your knee here. Whatever is comfortable for your body, as long as you're feeling the sensation in the right area, you're doing it correctly. Slowly bringing that leg all the way up to the ceiling. And then all the way across the body. Feeling that sensation in the outer left hip and butt area. Placing whatever props you need so that you're comfortable. Finding your spot and just relaxing into that as much as possible. I've placed a block here under my back shoulder also, so I can be a little bit more comfortable. My range of motion isn't a lot right here, so I'm helping out with a little block. One more deep breath here. And then at the end of the exhale, bringing that leg to the sky. Is there any more space in that hamstring that you found? Pull back on it just a little bit more. Good. Now release that leg all the way to the floor, but being extremely gentle. Stretching out and enjoying that rebound for a moment. Enjoying that new flow of energy that you created. We did a lot of lower body work. We're going to move into the lower back. I want you to roll over to the right side in the fetal position for just a moment, taking a breath. And then rolling over to your belly. Being so gentle here, so compassionate with your body. This is a time that we make amends to our body and we listen to the messages it has to say to us. We rarely take time to acknowledge it and acknowledge how hard it works for us on a daily basis. I'm going to reach back here and grab on to my left leg because I want to just open up that front quad a little bit. Being really gentle here. You may not be able to grab onto it. You may just be able to bend the knee and create the motion towards pulling. But really, I'm just trying to get a little sensation here in the front thigh, the front quad area. Really gentle. very slowly getting ready to let that go. But what I don't want you to do is let that come back harshly. Just very gently let that foot come back. Don't let it slingshot, is what I was trying to say there. Good. And grabbing on now to the right side. Or just bending that knee until you feel that stretch in the front thigh quad area. This will actually help us to get into the lower back, because now we've loosened everything up in the lower area. So just breathe into that. And just letting that extremely gently come back to the mat. Laying back down, wiggling your hips back and forth, resetting yourself. We're going to come back up onto our elbows. And we're going to come into a position called Sphinx pose. Sometimes it can take some time to find it, but it's really important for the lower back. So I want you to keep trying. You can either have your feet together or farther apart. You're going to come up onto your elbows. Ideally, your shoulders are above your elbows. Your fingers are all the way spread, and the pads of your fingers are going to be really gripping that mat. As you're going to be inhaling, as you pull forward like you're coming out of that spine. And then as you're exhaling, you're relaxing your hips into the floor. Inhaling as you pull forward and exhaling as you relax the hips onto the floor. It's as if you're trying to pull yourself off the mat, forward, out of your spine type of motion. Deep breaths here. The more you can relax your hips into the floor, the more you can surrender. So really slowly, we're going to go ahead and come to the ground. Just enjoy that for a moment. We're going to be moving into the shoulders. This is one of my absolute favorite shoulder stretches, because not only is it for the shoulders, but it is for the upper back. We spend so much time hunched over computers or carpet installation or flooring. So we're going to go ahead and bring our hands together behind our back, and we're going to roll to one side. So here I'm picking my right side and I'm rolling, and I'm using my legs here to kind of help me. So you're going to find a way that works for you. You may have a block in between your legs, but I'm just propping myself up one of my legs, and the whole purpose here is to get that stretch in the front of that shoulder. This is an open heart pose. This is a shoulder pose. This is for the back. You may need to slip something under your head to be more comfortable, but this feels amazing. Breathe in it. And just slowly coming back to the belly. And we're going to roll to the opposite side. Good. So you have a different view here, what my shoulders look like. Now I'm keeping my fingers together as well as possible. If you need to use a towel here, you can do that. I'm just trying to get relaxed. And if you watch this video, you could actually see how my body starts to relax more and more and more as I'm breathing. And then coming back to the belly, moving like honey, respecting those transitions, and just laying down flat once again. So being really careful to engage the lower abs here is really important as you come up to all fours, however is comfortable, but really, really engage those abs. Pushing back. I want you to come to all fours. We're going to come to do a few cat-cows here. Really talk to the spine and let it know we're coming for it. So on all fours, I want you to go ahead and as you take a deep breath in, I want you to look up. So breathe in as you look up and breathe out as you round out that back. Looking up as you inhale. Down, looking down as you exhale. And really pushing through your fingers. Inhale and exhale. Pushing through those pads of the fingers. Good. I'm going to take you through a pose here that's really important for the spine. So as you see here, I'm reaching out my left leg and I'm reaching out my right hand. This is compression for the spine. I'm going to do it on the opposite side also. So reaching out my right leg, the heel pushing back as much as possible. And then my left arm, reaching, really creating some compression there. And then coming back to all fours. This pose right here is so important for the spine. You should do it every day. Reaching out with opposite sides. And then coming back. One more time. With the right leg and the left arm, reaching out. And coming back. Here we're going to move into the shoulders and we're going to take our hands and very slowly we're going to walk them out. We're going to leave the hips above the knees here and we're going to just walk out those hands so that we can place our forehead on the floor. Where I'm looking to find a sensation here is through the upper shoulders. It's very tempting to stretch down so that you can feel this in your lower back, but I don't want you to do that. I want you to feel this in the upper back between the shoulders. This is very intense and you will feel a lot of sensation here. Breathing, inhaling, exhaling. Then as slow as you possibly can, you're going to go ahead and come all the way to the floor. bringing your forehead to the ground and just really feeling the new energy you created in that upper back area. So now we're going to just really slowly roll to our backs as we take a few more poses before Shavasana, grabbing that pillow for my head, whatever is more comfortable for you. Bending both of those knees. I'm going to go ahead and bring them to the right side of my body. Now your knees might be right on top of each other, they might be separated, but this is a twist for the spine. I'm twisting my spine all the way from the top to the bottom. So I'm bringing my knees all the way to the right, and it's comfortable for my neck, so I want you to ask your neck if it's comfortable for your body to take your gaze to the opposite side. So my knees are to the right, my gaze is to the left, and this is a twist for my spinal cord. Go ahead and moving to the opposite side, bringing my knees all the way to the left and my gaze to the right. Inhaling, exhaling. Bringing both of those knees back to the ground, just stretching out. I'm going to bend those knees again, and I'm going to take a block and place it under my lower back. So it's not quite, it's like right below the sacrum. You have to find it for yourself, but you should feel completely supported, and your hips are kind of like falling over the edges of the block. You don't have to have a block here. You can have anything stable, or you can just press through your heels and lift your hips, and you're going to get this same sensation. This is a bridge pose, but it's a supported bridge. So I don't have to use my hamstrings as much to get the effect. I'm just letting my hips fall over the block and relaxing. When I come out of this, I'm going to actually press through my heels. And if you don't have a block, that's again the safest way for you to release your lower back from this pose. So pressing through the heels, I come up gently, release that block, and gently lower my hips to the floor. Extending those legs, stretching out, getting ready for Shavasana. I'm placing that block under my head, and I am ready to rest my body. All of that was in preparation for a few minutes of true relaxation. Your breath is returning to normal. Allow yourself this time to truly immerse in the peace and joy that you just created. Linger here for a moment and breathe. I'll let you know when it's time. beginning to slowly come back to the room, wiggling your toes and fingers, maybe stretching that whole body, rolling over to the right in the fetal position, taking a moment to thank yourself, and just pressing yourself up to a seated position.
Thank you. It is always an honor to be able to take anyone through a yoga practice, and I hope this in any way benefits your life and that you just give it a try. So, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.